Hey everyone, so I just wanted to update you with what's been happening. Just the other day I had to go to get my glasses because my vision has been deteriorating a bit. So when I first got my glasses, which was last year, just after I'd finished chemo, I was at like 0.25, I think, for reading up close. I don't think I had any vision issues far away, even though I noticed that it was a bit blurrier. But I did get glasses that had like, I think 0.25 to see things up close. And then when I went this time, I had 0.5 for up close and far away for both eyes. So I have, deteriorated a little bit with my vision, and I'm kind of worried that my vision will keep deteriorating with each year, but I'm hoping that maybe in the first few years, my vision will have to kind of get used to, or I don't know, the damage that has been done by chemo will be affected then, and then after a few years, my eyes will kind of just like level out. By that time, hopefully there will be no remnants of the chemo damage. Maybe my eye has recovered by that point. And even if I do have, some vision issues, which I know 0.5 probably sounds like nothing to a lot of you who probably already have glasses, but for me it's more that issue that what if I just keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and I've started something, and so that's what I'm a bit worried about, but I'm sure that it's nothing. I asked the optometrist if there was anything that I could do to stop the vision, but the kind of vision issues that I have is not something that they can really stop. And I know it's something that my parents have. They have the same vision issue. I can't remember if it's like nearsighted or far-sighted. Is it far-sighted, long-sighted, short-sighted? One of those. But they didn't get it until they were a lot older. So I feel like I've just like brought on this, genetic thing that is pretty normal for older people to get slowly, but now I have it now in my 20s when I had perfect vision before all of this. So, that's not a really big side effect, not a really big problem. In terms of my other side effects, I haven't really noticed that much. I don't know if this is so much fatigue as I'm just doing a lot right now and I'm trying to learn how to balance it all. Because I know that other people who do full-time work, it's really tiring and it's exhausting, especially if you're having to like see people, see family, do other commitments at different days. And even though I'm not working full-time, I'm working 4 days a week, it's practically full-time, and the days that I have off, I try to fill with volunteering and my other errands and things. And so I've noticed that I've been feeling really tired when I come back from work, and I think that's probably more to do with just being really busy, and that's the nature of like kind of full-time work or close to full-time work. But I also don't know if it's kind of fatigue kicking in a little bit, but I don't think so. I think it's mostly just a full-time work thing, which is also, something you have to figure out once you've been, a fair bit out from the cancer treatment and that experience. And the side effects is that sometimes you don't really know what is as a result of that experience versus what is a result of the way that I'm living now, and other things that I can change, which I think is an important thing to learn as well. Ooh, I just made the camera shake. Even though, as you know, that I hate my chemo brain side effects, and it definitely has gotten better, and I want to make a video about all the things that I've done to try to help that, and I think that I have helped with my chemo brain side effects. I've just been noticing that I still screw up words, and I've been noticing more that I put the wrong words in the wrong order sometimes. And I think that might have been because, like obviously chemo brain, but also I was trying to learn Dutch at the same time. And I thought that learning another language would be a really good idea to, keep the brain active and, pushing it in a positive way. And I'm already bilingual with Spanish because of my family, but my partner's Dutch, and I've been wanting to learn Dutch. And I do know bits and pieces, but I want to be more serious with it. So I was, doing Duolingo for quite a few months, and that was really enjoyable. But I think because the way that their sentences are structured so differently from ours and also from Spanish, I think that maybe because of the way that my chemo brain was, acting in my brain, or maybe just the nature of trying to learn another language when your brain is still recovering, or maybe just the nature of learning a third language, I was putting the wrong words and verbs and things like that in not the quite right order. And so that's something that I've just stopped for now. I just haven't been actively teaching myself Dutch. If anything, I'll just, like to work more on brushing up my Spanish, at least for now, while I try to figure out and try to work on my English to make sure it's the best that it can be, I guess. I'm a native English speaker, but I do notice that I don't speak quite as well as maybe some other people, and I don't know if that's chemo brain related because I grew up in a bilingual family, because I'm trying to learn Dutch at the same time, because my partner isn't like a native English speaker. I think there are all these extra things that are kind of going on that, don't make me speak in the exact perfect English. Not that I necessarily want to speak perfect English, but I screw up more than I'd like to screw up, especially with just putting the wrong words in the wrong order. I think, for example, the other day when I was at an event for the youth cancer organization here in this area, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said something about like, oh, and then the plate empty, instead of saying the empty plate. I said something like that. And I was like, that is not how you speak English. Like, you're saying it wrong. And so that's something that just kind of bothered me, but I'll make a video just dedicated to all the things that I've done to try to improve my chemo brain when I get a chance. I know it's been a bit of a long time since I've made another video, but as I said, work has just been really busy, and I also wanted to provide, I guess, content that contributes something or is quite topic focused rather than just like rambling on about things that I've done in the last few weeks, which maybe you guys want to hear about what I've been doing just week to week rather than, you know, really substantial gaps. So I actually have substantial things to talk about that are related to cancer, but you can let me know if you want to hear just more about what I've been up to and things like that. And I'm 2 months into work and that's been going really well, even though sometimes I feel quite tired. I think that maybe just because I need to figure out my balance between work and life and all that kind of stuff, and they've been pushing me the right amount in terms of the work that I do there, which has been helping me conquer my chemo brain. So all in all, I'm really happy with where I'm at. Not next week, but the week after, I'm going on a ski trip as part of this youth cancer organization, Canteen in Australia. They do special camps and they send young people, kids and young people up to 25, I think. They take them, they do all these different events and they take them onto camps, and they're really exciting, but they're doing a particular special camp and they're taking me along to go skiing in Canberra, which is really exciting. So I'm really excited for that, and I'll make a video about that experience, about a really specific cancer camp. So all the people who'll be on this camp will either be ex-patients or patients or people who have had someone close to them, like a sibling or parent, pass away from cancer. And so I'm hoping, even though, you know, obviously people who have had a close family member, you know, go through cancer is really tragic, and we have things that we can bond over, I'm really hoping that there'll be patients or ex-patients, because it's naturally a different experience when you're the one going through it versus watching someone else, even though you're really close to them go through it. And so I hope that there's a good mix of people and young people there, and hopefully I can make a few friends as well. So I'll definitely talk about that when I come back. So please let me know how you've been going. I hope you've been well, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye. Disconnected and feeling like an outsider, and I know that even with my group of friends, even though they're supportive and lovely and really nice,